Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of the 2019 remake of Rabid.
I'm Sylvia Soska. And I'm Jen Soska. And we're the Soska Sisters. Get a part of this!
Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Scrub the little butt down there. It's Blood E with 2 E's.
Bloody Jacob, for sexy, awesome, exclusive content. And actually a for real friend of the Soskas.
Yeah, we love him! Support his stuff!
Please support your local artists. Please.
Yeah.
After a young woman, Rose, suffers a disfiguring accident, she undergoes an experimental stem cell treatment that leads to unintended consequences. And yes, finally, I was able to see the 2019 version of Rabid, both obviously written and directed by the Soska Sisters, along with John Surge, who also co-wrote it. Of course, based on the original 70s film by David Cronenberg. I have been waiting quite a long time for Rabid. Of course, I am immensely a big fan of the Soska Sisters, Jen and Sylvia both. If you guys haven't had the pleasure of meeting them or interacting with them online in any way, you know, whenever you do, you're in for a treat. That I have never talked to or met anyone who is any set of people who's more down to earth or appreciative of their fans. They have a passion for the genre and the industry like no one else. You know, they've been to hell and back, and they're only getting you know, more and more pull, more and more attention and independence that they deserve so much. And I've been looking forward to Rabid for a long time. You know, of course, with some of its festivals premieres over the last few months. It's you know, it's released in the UK and everything like that. You know, in Canada. And it is not coming out. I'm not sure. I know there's a UK physical media release, but I know it's not coming out on Blu-ray DVD in the US until February. But I'm pre-ordering that sucker, or at least at the very least buying it. You know, literally the week it's released. But yeah, you know, I've been following their progress, you know, through the sets and everything. I've, you know, heard what they had to say about it because I was lucky enough to finally meet them in person at the Days of the Dead convention in Chicago this past November. Just the most genuine and kind and, you know, beautiful souls you could ever meet. The Soska Sisters are. You know, so maybe you could think I'm a bit biased. But really, you know, I admit, you know, their work, you know, I've had some issues with, you know, some of their films. I mean, you know, I loved American Mary when it comes down to it. You know, Catherine Isabel is my all-time favorite actress. She is an absolute tour de force, you know, in that movie. And definitely had the Soska's own unique kind of flair in that. But, you know, I had my, you know, my gripes with it. I don't need to go into that right now. I plan on doing, like, a re-review on American Mary someday. You know, and Dead Toker in a Trunk is a different discussion, but I absolutely, you know, love that movie as well. You know, I have that, you know, horror pack exclusive Blu-ray and everything. You know, See No Evil 2, you know, combining Danielle Harris and Catherine Isabel, some other talent, you know, fairly talented actors. You know, Vendetta was, you know, So I'm not, what I'm saying is I'm not absolutely blind, you know, to that, oh, they're not perfect. They know they're not perfect. You know, of course, I can't help myself, like, reading through some other reviews of this movie, both on YouTube and just, you know, certain ones on, you know, IMDb or Amazon or something like that. You know, there's people that just, you know, still don't like the idea of a Cronenberg film being remade at all. And there's just, seems to be some people that just have no idea how the Soska Sisters actually are, how they actually think. So like, oh yeah, how could they be so egotistical as to you know, even think they can measure up and, you know, make their own spin on this? And it's like, no, if you actually listen to, or look into what the Soska Sisters have said about it at all, they're not trying to better Cronenberg or imitate exactly what he did with it. The Soska Sisters definitely have their own stamp on anything they do, whether it's a remake or one of their many original creations. And nonetheless, Cronenberg gave a seal of approval on this, you know, I'm pretty damn sure. So I have just no fucking clue with some people, but yeah, like I say, I was keeping restrained expectations going into this movie. Yeah, I knew I was gonna like it to some extent. But, you know, I was like, okay, you know, it might not be the best movie in the world, you know, you can't expect that necessarily, no matter how much you're looking forward to it, but I gotta say, I think Rabid 2019 came out overall pretty good. Is it the Soska Sisters' best? Yeah, it's really hard to say, because I felt like this was gonna be like the closest in line with like their American Mary or something. Even that's like a different animal, you know. It's hard to say right now. From certain aspects, yes, you know, and both in terms of, you know, like scale and ambition and such, perhaps, as well as, you know, maybe some of the, you know, just they've gotten even more refined as, you know, filmmakers, you know, since American Mary came out, naturally. But, you know, just very different stories as well. Yeah, I really liked it. Like, when I finished the film, I was like, oh, okay. But then, like, right before I did this video, I was like, holy shit, God, that was good. And then, right now, I'm kind of, like, settling. I'm kind of, like, swinging back and forth with some things, and I think that's natural. At first, I was going to wait to do a video on this movie for at least a couple days, because I'm going to watch it again with my, you know, fiance, who is just, you know, busy working at this moment. You know, so I'll probably gather a little bit more of my thoughts at that point. But, you know, the Soska Sisters deserve all the media support, you know, they can get. And yeah, that's why I wanted to do this video right away. You know, even though I've been slagging a lot of my other videos, I just fully planned on jumping on and talking about this. You know, let's talk about more of the actual movie, shall we? Laura Vandervoort as our lead character, Rose. Again, we'll talk about the makeup in a second, but Jesus, the practical makeup, the effects in this were absolutely excellent. And we'll talk about, again, more of that in a second, but Laura Vandervoort, I thought she was overall very good as Rose. A lot of you guys will know her from Smallville. I think she was in that sci-fi show Bitten. I know there are other things. I haven't seen as much of her as I probably should, but I thought she worked, even especially in the beginning. You know, you see a lot of her, you know, kind of her quirks, but as well as, you know, sort of her place, or what she believes to be her place within, you know, how her life is going, and, you know, how that sort of ties into, you know, maybe a bit of a parallel, you know, between American Mary and Rabid, as they both characters sort of have an awakening because of, you know, certain, you know, changing events in their lives. To an extent, even though Rose isn't really as in control of that. But, you know, it is sad, you know, seeing her being, you know, pushed around and stuff like that. But then, you know, you can tell there's like a great mind underneath that, and you just want it to come out in the best possible way. But of course, there's a, you know, there's an infection about to start up. And again, the practical work in this is great. Yes, this is the image that somehow got the Soska Sisters banned on Twitter for so long. Even though, you know, there are bigger release horror movies that don't get anything taken down. You know, you guys know how that works. But, you know, just from like the you know, facial scarring, you know, injuries, things like that, to some more, you know, kind of more elaborate stuff they do, you know, near the later parts of the film. I thought it was all great. You know, the blood looked really good. And then you also have a guy like Phil Brooks, CM Punk, who I actually did meet a year or so ago as well. You know, he's getting into some films and stuff. You know, he did A Girl on the Third Floor, which I still have to watch. But, you know, he fit his role here. You know, he seemed pretty seamless with it. I enjoyed seeing him. I couldn't get a picture of everyone in the cast, you know, at least a good picture, so I don't have everyone ready to go here, but it was also good seeing AJ Mendez, or AJ Lee, you know, as she's known in WWE, and, you know, they're credited together as well, so that was nice. AJ doesn't have a big part, but I guess you know, she had some scheduling issues, but they're glad just to get her in however they could. I also wanted to emphasize, yeah, excuse me. Just wanted to make sure I had the right names here. Yeah, Hanneke Talbot, who played Rose's best friend, sort of her you know, sister in a way. They had, you know, spent a lot of time growing up together because of Rose's circumstances with their parents. I thought she was quite talented as well. I almost wanted more of her too. I got to like her a little more than I expected. At first, she seemed sort of like a shallow character, but I think Talbot did a really nice job of showing you know, a little bit of her emotional range when she was on screen anyway. And then, again, I wish I could have gotten better pictures of the rest of the cast, but you also had Ted Atherton, who played, you know, the main doctor behind this experimental, you know, shit that's going on. I thought he fit the role like a glove. You also have, yeah, Stephen McHattie as another doctor at the regular hospital. I've seen him in a couple things. He played Vaughn in one of my favorite TV shows, The Strain. You know, he was in that Lizzie Borden, you know, Lizzie Borden Took an Axe with Christina Ricci. And he's done just tons of stuff over the decades, so it was nice to see him in this. You had Ben Hollingsworth as, you know, the fashion photographer in this movie. Yeah, he was in, let's see. Yeah, I think he was in something else with the Soska Sisters as well. Was it Vendetta? Sorry, I am not. It's almost 3 a.m., so cut me a little bit of slack when it comes to precision like this. I probably should have taken notes on some of these things, but I just wanted to jump right on it, and thus, sploosh. But before this review gets any more awkward and dragged out, the whole cast is pretty good. I mean, there were some lesser and kind of important side characters that maybe weren't, you know, like the greatest actors necessarily, but I don't think anyone stuck out particularly that was, you know, bad or anything like that. The ending is kind of interesting as well. And yes, confession, I haven't actually seen the original David Cronenberg Rabid, I know. But I was assured you could kind of watch it either way. And now it just has me more interested to watch, you know, the original film. I know there are some differences though. But I'm not sure the ending is in the original movie, but the ending here, I think, you know, it's definitely a little unconventional. It has sort of that, you know, horror movie, you know, type of twist to it that you might think to some capacity. But, you know, it's not like a storybook ending either. I'll just say that. It's not, you know, it's not something that, it's not a Hollywood ending either, really. Which I appreciated as well. Again, Laura Vandervoort, I think Vandervoort, excuse me, she did a nice job, like increasingly so, you know, like Rose's, you know, kind of crumbling psyche, her dealing with, you know, her urges and everything with the blood and such. I thought it was very good. And again, a lot of the practical work was absolutely fantastic. I thought they did a great job with that, you know, the prosthetics and stuff like that too. I mean, you know, the thing it's used to, you know, kind of cut and, you know, suck some of the blood as well. That thing looked a little bit off and would kind of come out and wiggle around a bit. That was the only thing that seemed a bit off for me. But everything else I thought was, you know, bloody great. Ooh, there's just a lot to talk about. I mean, I thought it was shot pretty well. The Soskas did a good job with that. There's definitely, you know, it touches their signature aesthetic to it, I think. And there's just something unexplainable about a Soska Sisters film. You know, especially ones, you know, like Rabid, like American Mary, you know, Dead Hooker and such. They just have a certain, like, vibe to them that you don't really get anywhere else, and I felt that here too. And again, I'm not the greatest person to analyze these films or anything. I'm just I'm a, you know, Rabid fan, pun fully intended, essentially. But I don't know. I thought this is good. I think it's you know, say I'm kissing their ass, you know, or whatever you want to say, but I genuinely think this is one of my favorite films of the whole year. Right next to Godzilla King of the Monsters, you know, because Godzilla's been my, you know, my hero, you know, died for Godzilla since I was a child. But it's like Godzilla King of the Monsters and Rabid and some other things I can't think of right now. My favorite movies of the year, definitely. Can't wait to talk about that when I do that, you know, kind of year-end video in like a month or so. But yeah, and again, the Soska Sisters, absolutely incredible people. If you ever have a chance to meet them at any sort of convention, they're absolutely worth every single fucking dollar of it. If you're lucky enough to have them on Facebook like I do, they interact as much as they can with everyone they can that, you know, are respectful to them. They'll be respectful back. And again, these girls are just full of love and passion for their work. You know, they're fans, just real people. And I'm happy to support them, you know, for the rest of my life, essentially. Sadly, they've earned every second of that. Absolutely incredible souls. So yeah, if I had to rate Rabid again, I feel like I have to settle on this a little bit more. And I'm sure there's things I forgot to talk about that I wanted to. You know, there's some like maybe some minor pacing issues here and there. You know, some transitions felt a bit disjointed or something. But again, it kind of fit with the nature of it too. So again, I definitely got to see it again. I'm gonna be buying that Blu-ray right away. Yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and if I had to rate Rabid, I'm ranging in between like a B+, you know, around maybe an 87-88%, and like a 90% A-, somewhere in there. Let me know what you guys thought about Rabid. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.